What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from Classic Climb Blog. A little cold in Texas today. Definitely stressed out after watching that sports game, that foosball. Um, Very much entertaining. That is what America is. Drop a city and state in the chat, and if you're watching this on replay, type replay in the chat for me. Don't forget, got 50% off all courses. I think till January 2nd, 3rd. It's New Year, New You. Do what you do with that. Enjoy. The discount code is 2025. Okay, we'll have some training mid-January, I think 16th, 17th on tax liens, tax deeds, land buying, and then we'll also have a training on the special funding bundle. We'll do an updated, hey, what's going on with credit? Here's what we're seeing. Here's some of the stuff we're notating right now. Massive accident on the road over there, so I'm just being nosy, but I'm going to focus. And I'm going to give you 25 minutes, if I can, real quick. So listen. 60% of people feel we are in a recession. Feelings matter. Now you're going to say, Erica, but you said, I know numbers matter, numbers, but feelings matter. Why do feelings matter right now? Feelings matter because we have people who just voted in an election who feel we need to completely overturn what we're currently seeing out here. Whether the border, schools, you name it, we could go rehash that, but we're not. We're going to keep it simple. Now I was going to go woo-woo on y'all, but I had to pull myself back because this is the heavy versus light conversation. Attachment versus detachment, right? So right now you have a pushback, from Patrick David and many people in the immigrant community of like, hey, wait a minute. Y'all feeling real strong about DEI and H-1B1 visas. What's going on out there? And it's because they have a heavy attachment to what their life should look like, what their kids' lives should look like, what the American dream looks like. And I want you to be detached, okay, from that. Now, what do I mean? I don't mean give up on the American dream. I think in this phrase, in this, what we're using for detaches, don't hold on so tightly, right? Some people are like strangling a thing. Like they have to have a girlfriend and she has to look like this and life has to be this way. I have to have kids and they have to obey this way. They have to be this way. They have to act a certain way. And that's just not how life works. It's just not how life works. It causes you to lose a thing. The stronger you strangle hold it, the quicker you'll lose it, right? So this is kind of what's happening with America. They have this attachment to this particular, like, hey, and I know y'all get mad at me, I bring this up all the time. Inflation numbers show you have to be making extra 6 to 13% a year. Inflation numbers as they are, which you can go with that number from the government or outside, calculating sources, or you can go with you need $26,000 extra this past 2 years to deal with inflation. So the 6 to 13% sounds better, right? Because you're already making 100,000, you're like another 26,000, right? You're gonna be like, that's too much, but it's not. But 6% on 100,000. You just need extra 6,000, extra 12,000. You may feel better about hearing 6 to 12%. So we'll use either one for the sake of argument. Again, you guys tell me which one sounds better: an extra $26,000 a year or an extra 13% raise. You tell me. You can put in the comments. You put 13%, or you can put 26,000. Now, why am I bringing this up? There's something I start with, even when life is good or bad for me. I'm like, my life is good. I am grateful for it, and I want it to be better. I want to love this, but I don't need this. Okay? I'll say it one more time. I know you're gonna be like, Eric, whoa, easy with that. I just gotta say it one more time. My life is good. I am grateful for it. I want it to be better. I am grateful for the life I have right now. I would love this, but I don't need this. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the rabbit hole on that for you guys, but I want you to really look at your life, because 9 times 10 people are living in a full, blown out comparison mode. Why don't they have this or that? Now, there may not even be in a comparison mode of others. Let's say, you're one of those people, I don't have social media, I don't even be looking at people. Sure, whatever you want to tell us. You may be in a comparison of your former self, right? You may think, oh, Erica, I used to make a lot of money and I spent it. I blew the money. I wasted the money. The money's gone. And what happens is people start being mad at their former self, discontent with their former self. Okay? Real discontent. You cannot change what has already happened. What has happened already happened. The lesson you learn, you are supposed to learn from it. I hate to say this to you. When people say that woman's divorced and she'll never get another husband, she manifested one husband, she'll manifest another. Right? Unless she takes that negative spirit on, right? We've heard people say, "Who's going to love me with these kids and my body looking like this?" Well, girl, you've already spoken to existence. You're speaking the negative situation into existence for yourself. Okay? You have to be very clear. Just because everybody else in a recession don't mean I have to participate. Right? What is for me is for me. Right? Now, I'm not want you to be in total delusion. I know a lot of people want to get, Erica, I just can't do that. I'm having a bad life. I'm this and that. I hear you. But I want you to think about heavy versus light. And a lot of times you're heavy handed with yourself in situations when you should be light. There's something I say that pisses people off. My family members, friends, significant others. I'll be like, this is just a season. Well, how long is the season? I'll be like, sometimes a season is a few months. Sometimes a season is a year. Sometimes there's seasons of life, right? I don't know if you ever heard that. Y'all can put seasons of life in the chat. Seasons of light in the chat. Help your girl out. Seasons of life. When I was growing up, when old people, somebody had menopause or they were sweating, they're going through the seasons of life, right? Or they going through a change, right? If somebody complained about their kids being little, being worse, well, there's just seasons to life. If somebody was going through a divorce, they'd be like, well, sometimes there's seasons to life. And so when I use the word seasons, I know it drives people crazy, but I mean it. And sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes you got a lot of money in your pocket, tomorrow you don't got no money. Money's ever flowing. Money is always coming. It's all over the place. Just because you don't have some in your hand right now don't mean anything. I recommend a lot of times on the phone to people to do Uber if they're short $100, right? I'm gonna tell y'all this. We have a family member, and they think they so smart, and they're like, "Well, Erica," they come back to me 4 years in a row. They've come back with the same question. What do you think about this? And where can I get this? I said, I've already the last year, because last year is different. It's 2025 now. But in 2024, over the holidays, I told them, you've asked me this 10 times. When are you going to take action? Why do you keep asking this question? Clearly, life has kept progressing. I have a business. My business keeps going. My investments keep going. Why do you keep asking me this question? They were like, well, I just, yeah, why? You've asked me this before 3, 4, 5 times. I've said that to some of y'all in the comments. You've asked me this on many a live. We're 4 years out. You're still asking me about Lending Club. We're 10 years out. You're still asking me about Lending Club. You're still asking me about a $25 decision you could have made 10 years ago. You're still asking me about a $5 stockpile account decision you could have made years ago. You're still there. You're still at the bus stop in Wyoming with the Yellowstone show on season 1. The show's over. It's at season 5. We're done now. I'm not going to do those spoilers, but they done left. It's a wrap. They left. They sold everything. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because this person asked me the same question and go, hey, oh my gosh, how much does this cost? How much does an LLC cost? How much does a trademark cost? How much will it cost for me to pitch my whatever they called it to this other thing? And I said, wait a minute. I've answered this to you before. The state of North Carolina is $125. Oh, I saw somewhere it was $300. Did you go on the state of North Carolina website? Well, where I said, I click. I just went on my phone, typed it, and texted it to him. I said, here you go. As we're talking face to face, I just text him. There's the link, 125. Well, what about a name? I'm trying to come up with a name. Here's name links. Text it to him. I'm not going to do the work for you. No one can do the work for you. No one can love you and do the work for you. You actually have to do it yourself. When people have babies and they falling all down trying to walk, and you want to hold their little hand and help them because they're so cute and helpless, but they eventually what? Start walking without you. And they have to do that, because if they don't, man, you don't love them. If you don't want them to get better, you don't love them. You don't, right? There's something I put on the community wall, and I've talked about this a lot. A lot of people were not loved or raised. They were fed in a house, tolerated till they got out. maybe their parents once they got past 8 years old, they were no longer cute and cuddly. They started talking back. They don't have time for this. Get out of my face. I don't want to be bothered. And I think that's the problem we have with a lot of some little black boys we see out here in the crime issue, the Kia boy issue. When you stop listening to mom and you won't dress nice and smile for pictures and she can't show you off to your friends, then, I think that's part of what's happening there. We have some young ladies, when they start becoming very beautiful and their mother is this person who's mad at life, mad at herself, unhealed, unloved. Now she's wanting to put that young lady out. So we do have people who are experiencing significant trauma. While they're experiencing significant trauma, they're coming across channels like mine. They're coming across millions of channels online. And I pray they reach me before they reach some of the others, but they may not, just because of the algorithm, because of life. So when someone is talking negatively, emotionally charged, rage baiting people, trying to convince people all men are one way, all women are one way, and children are bad, and this, and I just go, what, are you okay? Something that drives a lot of people hurt, and we say, who hurt you? And do you live with your parents? And what's funny is statistically, a lot of the men online say, why do y'all keep saying that? Because statistically, you live with your parents. 1 in 3 men, 19 to 34, live with their parents. So if you online saying these things, statistically, you do. Like, it's just that simple, right? And the funny thing about African Americans, only 2 million black babies are born a year on average. 2 million, that's it. So you got about 25 million black women over age 18. So when people are like, yeah, you all are baby mamas, I'm like, statistically, that's not possible. Even over certain ages, statistically, that's not possible. 70% of black women don't even have children. The data, like a bunch of these women, no abortions, no nothing, just don't have them. We all know a bunch of aunties that don't have no kids. I don't know why we keep, well, all black women, like, what are you talking about? Right? What are you talking about? Okay. So what happens is these people are in a hurt cycle. They're lashing out, they're angry, they're aggressive, they're full of emotion, they're emoting online, so everything sets them off, whether it's the election. So now they're in, Kendrick Lamar tickets. I told you about the young lady crying online about the Kendrick Lamar nosebleed tickets that are $100. That has nothing to do with him. That has everything to do with her and her position and her attachment to, I only got $100. And now I have to sit here where I don't want to sit. Instead of taking this as a lesson to possibly earn more money, possibly, go Uber for a week or two and get you more money to buy this particular ticket you want. Again, ticket resale is an amazing business. And it only accounts for 20, 30% of tickets. Don't act like it's all resellers jacking the prices up. A lot of tickets are just bought in advance. It's a simple thing when you can look at a calendar, when you can open up your laptop, open up your phone, and pick a date in the future and pay for a ticket. See, but the 9 times out of 10, when you talk to people, they say, well, I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm not certain. You've already spoken that into existence, that you're busy, you're confused, you're uncertain, you don't know where you're going. You spoke that into existence. So when people talk about the recession, why does the recession, and again, I am going to give you an answer that's not popular. On paper, numbers, we're not in a recession. On paper, on numbers, it's record high for homeowners network. It's record high credit card debt. It's record high income in houses. It's record high, household income. That means multiple people in a house. People forget that part. It's record high, all time spending on travel. United Airlines is through the roof stock. Check the stock out. It's record high money being made at hotels. It's record highs. So when you say what, but 60% of people think we're in a recession. 60% of people are suffering from what? What are they suffering from? They're suffering from lack of investment. They're suffering from lack of education. And no one would ever say, oh, I went and got a degree. If you start asking people, which not everybody has a degree in America, you start asking people who got their degree, what they degree in, you start hearing a lot of English majors, a lot of communication majors, a lot of teaching majors, a lot of, be careful, a lot of things that don't produce income. Unless that person is hyper focused on producing income for themselves. 9 times out of 10, they're in something that does not produce income or will produce a salary of $40,000 a year. Right? That's it. And so what happens is they're saying, look how educated I am via this paper, as Dr. Umar says, the white man's paperwork. And you tried to counter by saying, these are not things necessarily society values. Your attachment to that particular, you could be a history major. I mean, somebody got an argument with me online. I started laughing. I'm like, you're going to argue with a history major? I'm like, yeah, because most of what you learn, I can go Google. I can go read 2 or 3 books and be as deeply knowledgeable about history as you. I think Tim Jackson's a history major, if I'm not mistaken. Coming on chat, he's been in real estate for years, 20 plus years, investor, real estate. Now a lobbyist, owns a lobbyist firm. This is why I don't let people sit here and try to, well, let me tell you about my degree. If you, in America, and I know this is going to hurt people's feelings, in America, if you have not figured out how to get to 250,000 to $1 million, I moved the number up because a lot of people say, well, 100,000. No, if you have not figured out how to get to 250,000 to $1 million, you telling someone about your degree means nothing. If you have not figured out a way to have investments or not work a job you do not like, you telling someone about the degree means nothing. Y'all know how many times people get on the phone and tell me about their degrees, and I feel like that's amazing. Because in the grand scheme of things, you're doing way more than a lot of other people. Congratulations. Congratulations. But guess what? In the metrics where it counts, what does that mean? In the grand scheme of your life, when you look back, you're 80 years old, you got a degree, you traveled, great. Are they writing biographies about you? Are they telling stories and singing songs about you? Just being honest, okay? Now, why am I bringing this up? I remember somebody was saying something about course creators. Course creators, yeah, they're liars, they're thieves, they're this, they're scammers. And I just started laughing because I'm like, anybody worth their weight, and I'm not going to kind of debate this merit because, you name it, tech courses are still selling. Everything's still selling. Anything you can think of is selling. Teaching people how to buy houses via tax liens and tax deeds still sells. Teaching people how to buy land still sells. Hey, we'll have training in January on tax deeds, tax liens, and buying land. All these things still sell because guess what? If you don't have the knowledge and you have not been educated and your parents have not sat down and shown you how to do this, guess what? You're going to have to pay what? With time or resources. So we have a lot of people who are on the social media, on the Twitter, on the X, whatever you want to call it, upset, coming up with AI versions of all the disrespectful ways they can do of Elon Musk. And people don't understand that they are attached to what the American dream means for them, means for their kids. They get up and they go to work so that their kid, right, can have this potential future that's better if they care, right? If they care. If they don't, that's another conversation. Not knowing that the system itself changed after 1971, right? It's off the gold standard. So it is what you own, what asset. It became an asset-based society. This is why you have Asian, Indian with a dot, communities who have come here. They'll buy the corner store and work in it, and then buy a cheap raggedy house, then buy a second cheap house, then buy a third cheap house that you would never live in the ghetto somewhere you would never consider. And they'll clean it up and they'll paint it and they'll either resell it. I shared a video of a young man on the community wall who left Seattle, sold his house. They became debt-free via selling their house, selling all their stuff they had in Seattle, and moved to Michigan. They bought a cheap house in Michigan, so they had money left over, cleaned it up, fixed it up, did what? Went to the next, bought a second, third, fourth, made these rentals and Airbnbs in Michigan, right? Okay. Now their whole family left Michigan. They're Latino and realized, yeah, we live in Seattle and Seattle is beautiful and it's great, but it's very expensive. And we don't have the skill set to make it here. Not just make it here, thrive here. The key word, thrive, like have leftovers, be comfortable. Y'all like that word. That word don't mean nothing, but it's in your head. Usually comfortable means double. Okay. So what was actively making him money was, yes, being debt free. Having that lump sum of cash from selling the first property they bought in Seattle and taking it over to Michigan, which is a cheaper location, allowed him to have a robust future. The problem is people have short attention spans and short energy. If it don't work in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 100 days, 6 months, a year, oh my God, I don't know if I can keep doing it. It's been 5 years since COVID. Now, some people say, no, Erica, we still going through it, 2021, 2022. Listen, since March 2020, it's been basically 5 years. And what will happen is somebody will tell me in 2027, because COVID. And then I'm going to tell them it's been 7 years. And they're going to do what? They're going to have an attachment to this time that was so emotionally throttling them. Okay? Now, why am I bringing this up? Prime example, people have short-term memories, what I was trying to say. Patrick Bet-David, who, I'll go there, is an amazing businessman. Much hustle, but let's be honest. The fact that he's over 6'1" and joined the military at a young age is what set him on his path. No matter what he tells you about his parents being poor and immigrants and all this other stuff, being over 6'1", 6'2", and being in the military at a young age is what put him on the track to go. Now, people are going to argue why, because listen, the military at young ages for men 18 and 24, there's two major outcomes. A lot of those young men come out and they go into sales, they go into work, they outwork everybody around them because they know when it was a time where they didn't have a choice and they had to be on a schedule, maybe the schedule they didn't like, and get up and do work and do. Right? And then you have a set of people who leave the military, and because the military is not telling them to get up, cut their hair, brush their teeth, wash their clothes, put on the uniform, they fall apart. And then they spend the rest of their life complaining about how the military, they a victim and they back and their knees and their shoulders, but they never complain about that $3,000 that the military sending them every month. They never complain about that extra $2,000 that the government is giving them in Social Security disability a month, kicking them out about a good $3,000 to $5,000 a month for the rest of their life. They, for some reason, keep forgetting that part of the story. But they love telling you how the military, took advantage of them. But that's a whole nother argument. I'm not going to get in that one for y'all, but that's a whole mindset versus reality thing. Why am I bringing that up? Because to say, well, Patrick Bet-David was an MLM and it's just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle. The same way we out here talking about course creators and MLMs and these things are the devil, and you're going to spend money. You're going to learn about business opportunities. Most people, if they were alert enough when they got the MLM and they said, wait a minute, I can build my own LLC and my own business with my own products, with my own stuff, they go do that. If they're alert, they become well-traveled speakers. They do a lot of stuff. So, a lot of that good stuff. So anyway, long story short, what are you actively building? So for a while, he was actively building the MLM and then segued into insurance. And because people's memories are so short, and that's what he's betting on, is your memory is so short, you forget everything after 3 months. Shit, the election feels like it was 6 months ago, right? You forget after 3 months because these social media websites have trained you to be a goldfish almost. He's hoping you stay in that season of forgetfulness, right? And he can just tell you who he wants you to remember him as. I've told y'all this on this channel. I said, if I don the cowboy hat and go sit at a desk and interview people on finance for a year, that is what people will remember about me. Well, she never does those finance videos. If I put on a cowboy hat and then I go fix and flip houses for a year and just show that videos all year long, guess what people remember? Yeah, she's a girl with the hat on that fixes and flip videos. If I put on a hat and I talk politics and talk crazy and bring people on and we talk crazy for hours, what do I remember as? People have very short-term memories. This is why people can keep coming out reinventing themselves. Say what you want to Beyonce, Cowboy Carter right now. What happens is every 2 years she come out with something different. I remember when we got Cowboy Carter right now. And I'm not even the biggest Beyonce fan. I'm just like, in general, like, I respect the craft. What was before this? And you can put it in the comments. You can correct me. But before this was the, I'm going to mix up the order, I think, on accident. My bad. I know she had one where she was the HBCU, right? Then she had one where she was wearing the glitter. And then she had Cowboy Carter, right? Am I wrong? Am I got it out of order? Because I thought Coachella 2020 was the HBCU thing. Dun-dun, 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 oh, maybe that's 2019. I'm getting to the money. Everybody mad, right? Y'all help me out. Help your girl. You know I'm in the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the country music. So I'm sitting here like, I had to think really hard. Before that, it was like Dangerously in Love, right? Before that, it was, I forgot, but it's still Destiny's Child before that, though. So every 2 years, 2-3 years like clockwork, she's the definition of, we'll never have a generation of artists like that because we gentle parent right now. We don't beat kids no more. We don't be like, you're going to practice every day of your life. We just don't. We don't. It's okay. Even, let's be honest, Tiger Woods' son, he ain't even had a choice. You know what I'm saying? He going to play golf, okay? But what you see happening is every 2 years, like clockwork, the music industry loves her because she'll come out with something new attitude, new clothes, new dress, new photo shoot. And I know people who run their business like that. Every 2 years, they have something different. Or every 2 years, they add a variation on something. I even go through variations here because you as a person, that's the deep down part y'all not missing. You as a person, every 2 to 5 years should be going through variations. See, when you was a mommy and the baby was 0 to 1, different life. Now your babies are 5 to 7, different life. Now your children are 12 to 15, different mommy. Now the children are 18 to 20 going to college, different mommy. Every couple of years, you should be different. You should be advancing. You should be educating yourselves in what the definition of education should change. As you get closer to 40s and 50s, now people start talking about retirement and they haven't even nailed the career down yet. I don't want to hurt no feelings, but let's go there. They haven't even nailed the career down. They haven't nailed down what is it they do well, right? Like I actively, if someone say, hey, Erica, if I was forced on the spot with a pew pew to my head, hey, I'm actively building my media company. That's what I would say real quick. I'm actively building my community company and everything else I do is an investment. That's what I would do. I've actively built for 10 years a media company where I'm on here. I have products and services. I have affiliate marketing, right? Digital marketing, Digital Liberty Warriors. I'm working on a few shirts. I'm going to put a vote out in the communities and in the groups. Let me know what you think of the shirt designs. We're going to get those shirts out to you guys. We're going to get those designs out to y'all. And I think you're going to love it. I feel like I just witnessed a dirty transaction over there. Dirty. Okay, so every 2 years, Beyonce goes through this transformation and she dresses up and she shows up and she highlights artists and she has a good time, right? Same thing, Post Malone. A couple years ago, he was fat, bloated, covered in tats, drunk. He was the skinny jelly roll. Now he's singing country. You know what I'm saying? They like that better. They want to believe that instead of believing that there is a whole segment of black people that don't live in the city, that don't sell drugs, that don't live around crime, that don't live around hood stuff. Right? The funniest thing happens when I was in the store. I was somewhere and I was super dressed up and they were like, right, sister? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I just looked at them crazy. And then they were like, they adjusted themselves. As they should. Like, what gave you any indication that I talk like that or interact like that? None. Funny enough, when you see my kids will all be in golf and tennis. I've already decided. Now, they want to do baseball. I mean, maybe. I'm just going to make whatever. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Girl, boy, if your brother decides baseball, guess what you're doing softball. I'm so sorry. If he really takes the golf, guess what you're doing golf too, girl. Did they do tennis really well? You doing get tennis too, girl? Listen, I'm not driving all over the town do 50 different activities. We're going to do the same activities. We're going to do them well. We're going to get NIL money. We're going to do it big. By then, it's going to be different even type of money by then. But that's a whole nother conversation. But if you ask me what am I actively doing daily, I'm actively building a media. Everything else is an investment. We're talking about the stock market, real estate, the remaining trucks I own, they're run by somebody else. They're running another company. Yeah. Well, Erica, you haven't talked about that. And if I owned all that, I'd be doing this and I have millions of dollars and I'd be driving a Porsche and I'd be doing this. But you're not me. And your thought to completely go trick off and go super hyper materialism already shows why you won't be in that position. You'll spend your way out of it. That's another conversation. Now, people say, well, yeah, buy these businesses instead of building them. There does come a particular wave in life where you either buy the business and clean house of that company and do all that stuff. But honestly, you guys, the only businesses that you can consider honestly buying, and I don't want to offend people who are out here thinking they're going to actively buy every kind of business, is a roofing, electrical, plumbing. Those are ones you can just literally keep training guys, sending them conferences, getting them trained up, getting new training, getting new sales and marketing. Everything else somebody's trying to sell you, I wouldn't do it because you already have and maybe some insurance companies. You have an ingrained bad behavior in a company that you're not going to break with you buying in 1 year unless you fire everybody. So 9 times out of 10, when people tell you they want to buy these businesses, I laugh because I go, you're going to spend 2 to 5 years retraining and re-clearing out the expectations of the staff. You may even get all new managers in, and those managers may leave after 3 years because they can't take it because you're trying to turn an environment. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to believe the internet about buying businesses. So keep buying that. Keep building. Yeah, keep believing that. Cool. Buying land is an investment. Doesn't guarantee. I'm not active every day. I'm not like knocking on doors. Give me the land. Not doing it. Building multifamily living assistance. I'm not an everyday person, but I am surrounded by business people who are and say, hey, can you give me the blueprint? Can you just walk me through starting this LLC and this and that? And if that takes $5,000, that takes $50,000. Let me know. Now there's a young lady, and then there's a couple here in this Central Texas area and one in North Dallas. If you pay them $50,000, they'll set the whole process up for you. And then they'll hold your hand for a year. Let me know if y'all want me to see if I can slide one of those interviews on. I might have to be on the paid side of things, but let me know. There's a couple in Central Texas. There's one in Dallas. There's a couple in Dallas. There's a couple here in Central Texas. There's another person that I have. And they are all in the living assistance retirement living home situation. And they charge people $50,000, and they'll literally do the whole process with you and walk you through it and get you started. And it's amazing. But what I want people to understand is most people are like, I'm not paying $50,000. I'm going to spend $1,000 on a course and I'm going to learn everything I need to learn. And you will. You can bump your head, do all those kind of things. But from what I've learned over the years, the quickest way is for me to go to the person who is over a particular company, a way of business, a way of handling things, and go, hey, I just need you to do the paperwork. I'm not even going to lie to you. You can show me, you can teach me, but I'd rather you fill it out like you filled yours out, to a T, to an I, to a dot, step by step, fill it out, do it, hold my hand for a year, so make sure this company runs like it should. Because all I'm gonna do is record you and me and record what I learned and teach my literally lead manager who's over things while I'm not there, because I'm not gonna be there. Let's be really clear. I'm not gonna be there. I'm there getting Friday reports. Simple as that. Nobody wants to hear that, but that is the truth. There are 2 or 3 ads folks. They do a mastermind for about $5,000, and then you pay them another $15,000 or $20,000, and they'll run all your ads. They're in Atlanta, and that's what they do. Somebody who y'all give a lot of flack to, Myron Golden. They're like, he's charging people $27,000, $35,000, $250,000 to hang out with him for a day. Now you know daggone well that's not what's happening, but essentially you pay that money, you come there, his whole ad staff like, let's go ahead and fix all your content. Let's go fix all your ads, and we're gonna hold your hand for the year, baby. Aren't you excited? You will make all your money back in probably 30, 60 days. But nobody talks about that point. Why are they not talking about that point? There's another 5 people I know right now. You give them $50,000, they're going to not only help you do the land construction, they're going to help you build everything up from the ground up and keep it moving. I already know. But why are you not hearing about those folks? Why are you not hearing that number? Why are you hesitant to even say that? Because to hear $50,000, your attachment to your money, you're like, 50,000? That's my salary for a year. Erica, that's a lot of people's salary. They can't afford that. There's a select type of customer they're trying to work with. They may only get 2 customers a year. They may only get 3. But the 3 people willing to spend $50,000 with them and they have guaranteed business results is way better than them just selling courses. It's way better than just giving lip service and people don't listen. I've seen plenty of people do this. I'm telling you. A lot of people have gotten in multiple partnerships where they're learning the business from the person as they're paying them for doing it. And I can go into a deeper conversation inside the school groups, but that's another conversation. So on average, when we talk about a lot of these online course people and stuff like that, they'll cap out about 1 to 3 million a year. Really, even the most popular, right? I've seen some at 6, but not many. So you'll see these people saying, "Oh, my business made $20 million." That's very abnormal. It's very abnormal. Like even him 500 to make 25 million, he was hardcore credit repair. Not only doing credit repair, teaching credit repair, community groups, events, masterminds, done for you, all kind of levels to that. One media business. This is why when people say you don't need 7 streams of income, what they mean is you can be in one lane and that lane can open up to many doors, to many houses, right? You could actively be building your media business and talk about affiliate marketing, and that affiliate marketing opens most doors. I think I've told y'all this, but I got pitched by Prime Energy Drink to be one of their influencers. And I was like, no, that's not me. That's no sign. But I can tell you there's many influencers who you'll see them promoting a product and it's their white label product on Amazon. Some of these bigger name people, and I'm in that lane. You'll see a few items this year. You'll be like, Erica, did you make that? I'm going to tell you the truth. Yeah. Because I'm not worried about you knowing. I need millions of strangers to know. And TikTok ain't going nowhere, so I need thousands of TikTok girls and guys to make videos on those products and enjoy life. And those things can require $1,000 to $5,000. Again, there's a video I have in the training this week. Is it this week? For Digital Liberty Warriors. I call it 1,000, 5,000, 20,000. And I'll break down a couple ways how you guys can build out your business, build out your operations, build out your companies off that small amount, and how life-changing it is. Because a lot of people think, Eric, I only got $500. I only got $200. I only have one book. I don't have a series of books. And I can show you in those groups how we build that vertical out and market it. And how I've even put some apps in there, some AI in there that will reach out to 1,000 customers a week for you. And now what I mean 1,000 customers, I mean 1,000 TikTok girls and guys and creators, and ask them, hey, will you pitch this product? And it'll be in a whole conversation with them AI style before you even get to, hey, this person's serious. Ding. So now you got a list of people who have already interacted in the conversation with the AI that you weren't even a part of. Y'all not ready for how AI about to really make some people useless, but it is. So this year coming up, you may see me at some AI conferences. I'm gonna be straight up with you, some tech conferences, and you may see me at some real estate in the space of living assistance. And the reason for that is there's just certain things that can't be done online. There's certain things that can be done online. There's certain things you have to do in person. There's certain people you have to meet in person. There's certain things you have to go about it, or you have to actually meet them. Same thing with the stock market. I'm not active on there every day, but have I learned to swing trade? Am I still majorly a buy and hold investor? Yes. Inside the Wealth Wednesdays, we post some of the dividend stocks we're just throwing money in every week. We're posting some of the crypto we're throwing in every week. Why we give the reasons why. What do we think is going to happen to those? And they're not financial advice. It's just, what am I doing as a person who sees an economy where you either have to take an extra $26,000 a year to keep up with inflation, or you need to be softer to your ears, a 13%, 6% to 13% increase of your money every year to keep up with inflation. So if I'm sitting here telling you about a 13% dividend stock, or a 12 or a 14% dividend stock, and you're like, well, I don't know, that seems kind of high, Erica. And the company's documented. You can go to their offices. You see all their properties. You see all their numbers. You can see their reports. You can see their shareholder meetings. And you're still over there like, I don't know if I'm put $100 in that. I can't help you, because that's why 60% of Americans think we're in a recession. They are not in play in America. What does in play mean? In play in America means right now, home ownership and home ownership net worth is through the roof. It's the highest it's been in, 15 years. The past 5 years has been big jumps for people. But if you don't own a home, if you don't own any stocks, and I'm talking about not just your 401k, which that does help, but like actively owning more than that, it's gone past your head, right? You're like, what do you mean, Erica? If you are in tech or healthcare or a sector that has been actively giving raises, if you haven't seen job raise movement, you're sitting around like, this is the worst it's ever been. butter's $5. Eggs are $7. Well, at least at the Sprouts where I go, they're $7. Cage-free, pasture-free eggs. I have a friend who's a farmer, and I'm like, let me buy some cow from you, baby. Let me buy some chickens, right? Because I want fresh, I want quality, right? I don't want stuff I feel is not quality from the store. But when I was at the store, I was like, I watched ribeyes slowly go from $15 to 25, 30. And I was just kind of like, that's why people say, I'm on the carnivore diet. I'm like, no, you're on the hamburger meat diet. Don't lie to me and say you're on the carnivore diet when most of you are eating ground beef, ground beef, ground beef. Some of you are eating ground sirloin. Some of you are eating ground venison. I am. But most of you are eating ground beef. Carnivore to me is you're on steak, wagyu, the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? You're doing a lot of eggs. You may throw some blueberries in there because you're kind of getting out of the die-hard part of carnivore. But yeah, they not because they can't afford it. Let's just be honest, they can't afford it. Nobody wants to hear that part though. So when I say I'm actively building a media company, this is why I still create content. It's one of the easiest avenues for meeting strangers. Try to say this in a nice way. That doesn't sound crazy. Meeting strangers, advocating for yourself, and creating awesome content. Now, if you come on these platforms and you act a fool, that is on you. That is on your children, right? Because people are like, what's going on? Country Wayne, I remember 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, was on Breakfast Club saying, yeah, I make $90,000 a month off Facebook. And he wasn't even certain how to explain how he made the $90,000 a month. He couldn't explain the clicks and the conversions. Now, of course, now Country Wayne, his 2024 interview with Shannon Sharp, he can explain all that to you, down to the penny, down to the detail, down to the numbers. He's making millions of dollars a month, and paying a lot of those people in his skits good money. So much so that many of them are now on Tyler Perry movies, and many of them are in low budget movies on Tubi and other places. Because they've been getting what? They're practicing chops via what? Country Wayne skits via what? Facebook via. I don't be on Facebook because it's for old people. When I know people who have Facebook groups right now making crazy money a month. I'm talking about crazy money. And salute to the Classy Climbers Accountability Group. We are up to, we had an additional new 500 people join the other day. So congratulations on that. All right. But all this to say, what are you actively building today? If you're actively building a job, that's okay. If you're actively at your job, building your skills up so that you can get hired for the best job or new tech work or any of that, salute to you. Congratulations. Heavy versus light work, baby. Focus on what you do well, which is light work. Heavy work is where you start investing. Because if you don't have any investments in the stock market, you have no share in any type of ownership. I'm not even talking about just an acre of land somewhere. If you don't have any of that, it's very hard to feel a part of America. And it's very hard to understand why there are people constantly on vacation, constantly online winning, constantly online. There's all these women who are stay-at-home moms doing social media who have these like really expensive click kitchens. And everybody's like, wait a minute. They're like, I'm so happy and grateful for the small things in my life, and I cook at home every day. They're like, you have a $15,000 stove in the background. You have a $6,000 refrigerator. You have a house that's completely brand new. Where are you at? Oh yeah, I'm in Middle Tennessee. I just moved here from LA. Like little stuff like that. There's our people who are actively building media empires. And you may be like, well, I'm going to clown her because she's supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. But the truth of it is she's building a media empire. And if you look at Pioneer Woman and many of these people, they have pots and pans and cookingware and all this stuff that makes them over 2 to 5 million a year in revenue. So you may laugh, you may think it's goofy. Why are they online? But I've personally watched one family where the husband was a UPS driver and his wife had cute little curly mixed kids, and now they're on their 4th house. And then they just added another baby because the husband been done retired from UPS. He ain't driving that no more, right? They've made so much money, they're on their 4th house now, right? Even their mom makes appearances in the videos like, she living well, she done retired. Okay, so to say that people are on Facebook and it doesn't make any money and you don't understand is one thing. But to try to blindly say, why are these people online wasting their life away? They're actively building media companies that bring in revenue. When I told y'all a couple years ago, I have a friend who literally got a $50,000 nice minted check from Walmart to do a series. I mean, I think she did 15 or 20. like reels and posts on Instagram. And she also got the money because she was a part of Oprah Favorite Things Club. Like she got to take a picture with Oprah and all this stuff. And she was a lightweight in comparison to people who were like actively on there daily. She's a military wife, and she just was like, well, let me start this thing. Let me start this blog. Let me start this mommy post. And it's just big money out there, and y'all just aren't honest with yourself about it, right? So when we talk about people being 60% of people think we're in a recession and people being undereducated, no one wants to be that label, that stereotype that they're undereducated. But I will end it with this. There's some training I have coming up, and we'll go deeper into heavy versus light, attachments versus detachment, healed versus unhealed. We'll do some woo-woo. I'm going to be very careful and selective how I do it. I have one where I want to do it from the mountains of my ski trip. Let me see if I can pull that off. But something I'll end y'all with, something I'll say like again. My life is good. I am grateful for it. And I want it to be better. Grateful for the life I have right now. And I would love this, but I don't need it. Living in comparison to your former self and what you think you should be doing with your money or past money is futile. I want you to focus in the good. If you're a person who's doing good work, which there's a lot of people who are good, working for the good, teachers, nurses, whoever, focus on that. You'll be compensated. The law of compensation will take care of you in many ways, not always money. And I hope this was helpful for y'all. I hope this was educational. I'm sorry it's not as heavy numbers and stats as you would like, but I may do a part 2 of 60% of people that think we are in a recession because they are experiencing immense attachment to what they think middle class is, and it is a wrong definition. What they think it should be, how they think women and men should be jumping and barking at their feet because they think they're middle class. I don't have to take it as deep as the racial aspect. I think internet has done plenty to explain why Americans think that. African Americans haven't even been in the conversation. This ain't our fight. But I will just say, in a way, in the spirit of things, comparison is a thief of joy. Very much a thief of joy. Okay? So this is your girl, Erica, Classy Clown Blog. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for listening to me and enjoying the media company that I've built. And hopefully you'll join me on some of these journeys that have coming up this year. They'll be very robust and life gonna be keep on life. And you know what I'm saying? That's not always a bad thing. All right, you guys, this is your Erica. Later. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance, and guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who can do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done, and that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024.